defending your support. Welcome to a Hopefulist Hot Take. So we have these two people that are running for president of the United States. At this point, we have Donald Trump, who I really, it's very difficult for me to say the name, and we have Kamala Harris. And at this point, well, even before this point, I mean, I don't know how we're back here. I don't understand how anybody that was alive during the first Trump presidential administration could even fathom voting that way again. I don't get it. It was pure and total chaos from day one until the last day. And think about this logically, okay? Think about it from a job perspective. And I've seen some memes on this, and it really rings true. You know, say you got a guy that comes in to a job. He does not a great job. And then on his way out, he makes such a fuss that he almost destroys the entire company. And now he wants to come back and interview for the job again. Do you think that anybody would hire that person back? No, of course not. But apparently, us people here in America just don't understand the level of insanity this really is. First and foremost, I don't understand how any woman or anybody who loves a woman, whether it be a spouse, a girlfriend, a mother, a sister, nieces, cousins, how they could vote for somebody who has been legally liable for sexual assault. I don't know how any woman can justify that in their own head. And it's so much more than that. I mean, he has been convicted of crimes. And I can even see, you know, you're thinking, well, that's not that big of a deal. The reason that it was a big deal is because it was election interference. The fact that he was trying to keep something out of the papers that voters had the right to see before they made their decision was wrong. Now, we all know now that it would not have made a difference. Wouldn't have made a difference to the followers. They clearly don't care because since then, he's been found legally liable for sexual assault, and they still don't care. There are all kinds of rumors. Well, it's more than just rumors. I have seen a lawsuit that was filed in 2016 by a woman who claimed that she spent a night with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Her, when she was 13 years old, along with another 13-year-old girl. And she is very detailed in her explanation of what happened. Very detailed. Now, she withdrew this case, this complaint, because she was getting death threats. She was trying to get this out before the election, and she was getting death threats for herself and her family. So she withdrew the complaint. And there's just so much more. I mean, you can deny it. I've seen people deny it, but he incited an insurrection. He incited an insurrection. He tried to overthrow the government by stopping the certification of the election results. It doesn't get more simple than that. You can call it a protest. You can call it whatever you want. But that was the intent behind it. And that will become more and more clear when his case finally goes to court, that this was a plan. And they had electors, fake electors, standing by to go in and change the result of a free and fair election. He filed 60 lawsuits, and he lost every one of them. I think he may have won one or two in some state somewhere. Didn't change the outcome of the election in any way, shape, or form. So when people are saying that they're still voting for him, and they proudly display their "I'm voting for the felon" T-shirts, it just baffles my mind, because all of the information is there. It's there. It's been there. And I heard somebody else saying, and maybe this is the truth, maybe this is it, that at this point, they know what dog dirt he is, but they can't admit they were wrong. So they have to double down and stay with it. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that history will look back at this time period as another Nazi Germany. Because it's exactly what was happening there in the 1930s leading up to the World War. I cannot understand how people can think that this person can even handle the job. They couldn't handle it when they were in the first time. You know, do you remember when he said that Alabama was in the path of a hurricane and he was wrong? And instead of saying that he was wrong, he used a Sharpie marker to include Alabama in the cone of danger. Do you remember that? Do you remember how he took Putin's side over our own intelligence agency? Do you know that he just congratulated Putin on the deal that was made to free 2 hostages that have been in Russia for many years now? He congratulated Russia. He didn't say thank you, wasn't grateful that these prisoners were being held all this time. He didn't care about that. There is so much. There is just so much to prove that this person is not a good person. He's not a good person. Never has been and never will be. And I don't understand why you can't see what his goal is, because he said it. He's told us he wants to be a dictator. That's why he loves the president of China and Russia and any place that has a dictator. He thinks they're strong, great men. North Korea loves them. They have a love story. You know, and now I'm starting to see some backlash to this. He wants to be a dictator. A lot of people saying, he wasn't a dictator the first time. What makes you think he's going to do it now? Well, he had a lot of people in place that stopped him from doing it the first time. You know, because if it weren't for Mike Pence, who I don't have a whole lot of respect for, but I have to respect the fact that he refused to not certify the election. And if it weren't for him, he may still be in power right now. Trump may still be here. There would have never been the election results being certified, and Biden would have never taken office. We don't know what could have happened. And it wasn't just Pence that stood up to Trump. There were a lot of people in his administration that stood up to him and told him, no, I'm not going to do that. Except this time he has said straight out, I'm only hiring people who are loyal to me. Loyal to me. That means they don't care about the United States of America. They don't care about the Constitution. They only care about doing what their fair leader says. And I don't know why I just used the word fair. There is so many things wrong with him and the picture and what could potentially happen. And I just don't understand how people can still be defending this person and planning to vote for him. I will never understand it. Never, ever. But we are where we are, and we have Kamala now, and she has been elected as the top cop more than once. She was the DA in San Francisco, and then she was the Attorney General of California. Then she was elected. She was elected to those two positions, and she was elected to the Senate, and then she was chosen for vice president. So she's got a good record of prosecuting under her belt. And she didn't sleep her way to the top because she was elected to all of these positions. And now she's going to be elected to the president of the United States. And I can't wait for the day. I mean, I would have voted for anybody over Trump. But I think this is a very good choice. And what she's bringing and her choice for VP, Tim Walz, is bringing is hope and joy and fun and happiness. Because all Trump has is fear and blame and outrage. And I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of all of the hate. And speaking of hate, I had somebody say something to me the other day. I've been accused of being hateful by people in my own life. And I could never figure out why they were saying that, because I'm not being hateful. What I had said to this person was, he commented on a video that I was talking about how ridiculous it was, this stolen valor stuff that they were saying about Tim Walz, and how anybody can be critical of somebody who served when their guy, Trump, dodged the draft I don't know how many times by saying he had bone spurs. So Tim Walz is way above that. So for them to talk trash about it, I find to be so hypocritical. So he was responding something to that video, and whatever it was that he said, I responded back, it's still more service than Donnie Boy ever did. And he responded with, oh, go right for the hate like you guys always do. I don't know how that's hateful. It's true. It is the truth. So I have finally figured out that all the times I've been accused of being hateful is when I bring up the truth. And if that's hateful, then yay, I am hateful. Because I will bring up the truth every single time, because I cannot stand how this world, this country, just takes lie after lie after lie. I mean, they've made it so that we don't even know what is true and what is false anymore. You have to find it. And I do. I look for it and I find it. Because truth matters. Truth matters. And someday, if Trump ever is held accountable for all of the horrific things that he's done, I still always wonder, is that really justice? This is a person who has been just a terrible human being their entire life. But yet they've lived in the lap of luxury. They've had tons of money. They've gotten away with doing all kinds of horrible things. And, being put in jail when you're 79, which probably still won't even happen. But even if it did, is that really justice? Get to live all of those times, all of those years with, living the high life, doing horrible things to people, not paying his contractors. In fact, they're saying that's why he can't do these rallies anymore, because he owes the airport where he needs to land all of this money, and he hasn't paid them. So they're like, you can't land your plane here. Yeah. I hope to see some form of justice, but I just always wonder, is it really justice? Because justice would have been this happening when he was, 35 or 40 or even 55. But 79, I mean, yeah, I'd still like to see it happen, but I don't know how much justice that really is. So I don't know. If you can help me understand it better, please feel free. I'm not going to yell and scream. I just need to understand. I don't think I ever will. But if you think that you can explain it to me, feel free to reach out. You can get in touch with me on my website at hopefulist.com or send me an email at thehopefulist1@gmail.com. And thank you for tuning in. And I will talk to you again next week. Meanwhile, go out, be badass this week. You know I'm here cheering you on.